Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are doing 3 top products from 3 top luxury brands. This is inspired by Everyday Edit and she was inspired by me. This is not a collaboration, but clearly it's a very collaborative spirit. So Grace, the way she does this is 3 top products from 3 luxury brands, but it's more like innovative, unique products to that brand, whereas I'm going to talk about 3 separate luxury brands and 3 current favorites, like just top products from that brand. And this is a spin-off of like my current obsessions tag, where you talk about 1 brand and 5 current obsessions from that brand. So we're going to talk about 3 brands and 3 top products. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. As you know, I have my online beauty consulting service, which is where you get the chance to talk to me one-on-one in a live Zoom. You can choose a half-hour session or a full hour session. And fun fact, you may in fact save money by booking a consultation because I only recommend products that genuinely work for you, not necessarily the newest, shiniest product at the counter, only items that will work for you. So if you want to make an appointment, click the link in the description box. My website is there with a scheduling calendar, so just pick the day and time that works best for you. Okay, so the first top luxury brand here is going to be Clé de Peau. And I have 3 products here. I have 2 makeup and a skincare item. So the first item is actually really new. It's been out on the market for a few months here in Canada. And then in the US, it just came out, I think last week or this week. This is the Radiant Cream Foundation. Now, I did a whole video on this foundation. I will put a tag up there. I included a wear test, some comparisons, review, all that. And this is a Radiant Cream Finish Foundation. It has an SPF of 25 and it's also a full coverage foundation. Now, what's so remarkable is that even though it's a full coverage foundation, it still feels really natural. And the creamy finish also adds like a level of moisture, hydration, and comfort that's really wonderful. You know, it's not thick, it's not cakey, but it is full coverage, which I think is really shocking because full coverage foundation is generally something that I stay away from. I prefer like a sheer, lightweight, your skin but better. But if you have mature skin, dry skin, dehydrated skin, if you live in an area that has really harsh winters, I think this Radiant Cream Foundation is going to be your winter foundation because it also has this radiant finish, but it's not like a greasy disco ball. It's a really natural radiant. I'm going to just give a little swatch here. This is not my correct shade at the moment. This is B10 Light Beige. I'm still too tan for that, so I do add quite a bit of bronzer just to warm it up and match my skin tone. But this is the texture here. So you can see it is creamy, it is a little bit thicker, but it's not too thick. It's really just that perfect balance. And I wanted to include that in today's video because it is still February. It's still, you know, winter, depending on where you live on the globe. But if you have more of a harsh winter environment, I think you would really appreciate this foundation for winter months. The foundation also does have some skincare components to it, which makes sense because it is Clé de Peau. And you know, it has claims like won't be caking, won't be flaking off or creasing, hydrating, all that. And I have to say, like, I tested it out in like December, around there. So it was still cold and like it held up really nicely. Even with mask wearing, it didn't like settle into any creases. So I know my audience, I know a lot of you are much older than me, so if you have like dry, mature skin, you would appreciate this foundation. Next up from Clé de Peau is going to be a concealer, because it always is. The Clé de Peau concealer. This is the original flavor. I know that there is a new formulation out. I will get my hands on it as soon as I can and do a comparison. I use the shade Almond, and this is just hands down my favorite concealer of all time. I have other concealers from other brands, but this one is just the best because a little bit goes a very long way. It blends, it has a nice level of coverage, but it's not thick, it's not cakey. Sometimes like a high coverage concealer looks high coverage, like it just looks like it's this thick and it creases and it cakes and it's just, you know, not that cute. But this is full coverage, but it blends really nicely, like it doesn't feel thick. And what's nice is that it self-sets. Once you blend the concealer, you can add a bit of powder underneath the eyes if you want to, but you don't have to. It sets on its own. It's like this magical concealer with some sort of like setting component to it. So it just sets in place. It never creases, it never runs. This is the type of makeup that I can just apply and I never have to check on it. I never have to see if it smudges. You know, sometimes it sort of settles into your like smile lines or crow's feet here, and then you have to just like tap it out to blend. This one doesn't do that. It just sets in place, it covers. It's really the best on the market. And I like a makeup product that I can just do in the morning and I never have to check on. I don't have to correct it or fix it or move it around. It stays in place. That's why it's in this video. Now, next up is a skincare item from Clé de Peau, and apparently it's one of Martha Stewart's favorite products. This is the serum. So that's what it's called, the serum from Clé de Peau. This is part of their holiday collection packaging, and I'm starting to run low, which makes me quite concerned. But they do have regular packaging and they sometimes have like, you know, special edition packaging. So this is supposed to maximize the results of smooth, supple skin. It's the best-selling anti-aging serum that boosts the skin's suppleness and hydration while priming the skin for optimal absorption of, well, they say Clé de Peau skincare, but you know, whatever skincare you have at home. It's a very lightweight texture, it's very fluid, and this is almost like a pre-serum. So you use this as the first step before you put on your toner even. You apply this and then you do your toners and the rest of your skincare. And it instantly makes your skin so much softer and smoother and more plump. And then every other skincare ingredient you add to your face and to your neck and whatever, it automatically just like absorbs into the skin faster and at a better rate. It really just feels like magic in a bottle. Like if you're looking for something that's going to make your skin smoother, softer, and help with plumpness, this is definitely an item that I think you should try. It's really great. It has pretty big claims, but I've really enjoyed it and I've seen the results almost instantly. Like you instantly see and feel the hydration and smoothness. So that's why it's in the video today. All right, let's move on to some Givenchy. Now, the first item here is a classic from Givenchy. This is the Prisme Libre Loose Powder. So this is the powder here. This compact came out, I think, not compact, but this jar here. The packaging is red. I think it was for the Lunar New Year last year, but this exists in its original casing. You don't need this packaging unless you want it, but you know, just like the serum from Clé de Peau, every now and then they add something fancy. So here on top you have the Givenchy logo, and then you have the Givenchy sponge with a name on it, of course. And then hopefully without dumping this all over my desk, I can show you this. So here you have a mix of loose powders and you have 4 different shades, and each shade mixed together creates this beautiful harmony. It sort of gives you a little bit of glow, but in a satiny, velvety, matte finish. It's not going to look too glowy, too oily, anything like that. It's just like a velvety, luminous boost. It also helps set your makeup. It just unifies your skin a little bit because it does have a blend of all 4 colors. And what's great is that this is number 1. This is the lightest shade. I could definitely probably use the second shade because there's 5 or 6 of these mixes available. So even if you have a much deeper skin tone, you can still use this powder here. The only difference is the shades are a little bit different for different skin tones, and each one has like the beautiful harmony of different shades. So not only will it give you a beautiful velvet setting effect for your makeup, but it also corrects just a little bit because it has a little bit of different colors. So all mixed together, it just adds like a thin veil of correction at the same time. And the reason I've been using this so much is because I've been going on what I like to call my stupid mental health walks, where no matter the weather, I go for a walk every single day, even when it's like minus 27. For me, walking every day is my form of exercise. And so I need to do it every day just to like feel healthy. And so because I've been going out and it's been so cold and I've been wearing more masks and scarves and things like that, I've been setting my makeup more because I want my makeup to last, within going in and out, mask wearing and all that. And I have dry, dehydrated skin. I live in a very cold climate, and this powder here does not dry out my skin. It doesn't settle into any fine lines. It doesn't feel cakey. It doesn't pick up on any dryness whatsoever. That's why I've been loving it so much. So I just take a big loose powder and I just, sweep it all over where my makeup is. And that's it. It's very fast. It's very quick. You just dump out some of the product in the cap. You just do a quick swirl with your brush and your makeup is set. You get that thin veil of correction at the same time. And it's fabulous. I know that they have come out with a compact version of this because this is the loose powder, which is fabulous. But they have come out with a compact version. So I will test that out whenever it comes to Canada. I think there may be delays for us. I don't think it's actually planned to come to Canada for the near future. So I'll see if I can get it through a different retailer. But either way, if you use the compact or the loose powder, I just think it's a great formula. And again, if you have mature skin, dry skin, if you live in cold climate, it's a great powder because it doesn't dry out. Some powders, you can literally feel the moisture leaving your face when you're applying it. With this, you don't feel that. Okay, moving on to something that came out, I think last year from Givenchy. And it's been a little bit tricky to get. It wasn't this like worldwide release for some reason, but this is the Prisme Libre blush. So in the same vein of Prisme Libre powder, they have come out with these blushes here. And I have a couple, but my favorite is what I'm wearing today. This is number 3, Voile Corail. So number 3 is like a beautiful veil of coral color. So it's the exact same premise as before, where you have the Givenchy powder puff, and then here you have a beautiful harmony of the same family of shades. So here it's more coral, peachy, these types of colors. And there are 5 little blocks like this to choose from, and all 5 follow their own color story. There's one that's like a beautiful lilac bubblegum pink. You get one that's like maybe more of a rose, a little bit warmer, etc., etc. So you have a collection for every skin tone as well, because you do have deeper colors. You have like a beautiful ruby shade. You get these like sienna burnt orange colors. You get a little bit of everything. And I just love these blushes. I don't know why they didn't become like an international collection. I don't know why they're not available worldwide. I don't know why they're not more popular. I think they're great because you just get a little bit of each color that you want. They really just found the perfect blend. And what's great about the Prisme Libre powder collection, whether it's the blush or the loose powder, I find that the formula is so finely milled. It's like just the finest powder. So when you apply it, it just applies and blends like a dream. You don't really need much work, and also the blush is very opaque. You get a lot of color payoff. It's wonderful. Last but not least, here from Givenchy, we have the Rouge Sheer Velvet Matte Lipsticks. So these are a velvet matte bullet lipstick. The fact that it's a bullet makes it much more comfortable to wear than, let's say, a liquid lipstick, obviously. And this here is number 16, I believe. It's called Nude Boisé, which basically just means like a nude rosewood. So this is the lipstick here. And then this is the swatch. This is the best Your Lip But Better. It's in that pinky nude rosewood. And what's amazing about this sheer velvet matte formula is that it is this like powder infused lipstick that feels like absolutely nothing at all. If it feels like anything, it feels just like chapstick, but you do get some more saturated, intense colors. I just like this one as like my everyday nude, you know, my lip but better. But the formula feels like this very soft, powdery finish. And I know if you think powder and lips, you think it's going to be drying, but it's really not. It's just really wonderful, so comfortable. I don't know what type of magic they created with this one here, but it's just really wonderful. And I love the velvet pink case here, especially for this shade. It feels, you know, like it's almost matching the lipstick. It applies so smoothly on the lips because it has that powdery finish, but it also has like mango oil, vitamin E, and like I said, this is the more nude Your Lip But Better, but they have, you know, reds, they have deeper colors, richer colors. So if you want something, like if you like the formula, but you just want more color, they have more options for you. So this is great. Okay, last but not least, we are talking about Sisley. So the first item we have to mention is what I am wearing on my lips. Now there seems to have been some sort of lipstick revolution since January this year because so many brands are coming out with new lipstick formulas. And this is the Sisley Phyto Rouge Shine. And this is the color that I'm wearing. It's this sheer red love. Now, it does not look very sheer, it looks very intense, and it's the beautiful, juicy, glossy red. So I also did a whole video on this lipstick collection here. This is the swatch. What I love about this is that it claims to be a blend between lipstick, lip gloss, and lip balm, and it truly feels and performs like that blend. It feels a little bit glossy and balmy, but the color payoff is that of a lipstick. Like when you apply it one swipe, especially a more intense color, you get the opacity and payoff of a red lipstick that just happens to be ultra glossy and hydrating. So with this type of formula, if you wear this, you don't have to apply a chapstick. You can simply reapply the lip color and then your lips get rehydrated and re-glossed all in one. Also, what's wonderful is that this formula here is refillable. So you get this here and then I have another refill that's more of like a sheer nudie rosewood. And so you can buy a full size of each one if you want, or what I did is I bought one full size and then one refill. So I have 2 lip colors now, which I like. And I really love the gold and white packaging. I think it's really fresh. I think it makes me think of spring, of summer. I just think it's a great color combination here for the actual lipstick tube. I love the color. It makes me think of spring. It gives me life. It makes me think of flowers. I just love this formula so much. I think it really is true to its claim of being that mix of lipstick, lip gloss, and like chapstick 3-in-1. It really is accurate. Okay, moving on to a eyeshadow single. Now, I have recently gotten into Sisley eyeshadows, and I have to say that all the fuss is definitely worth it. This shade here is called Sparkling Topaz. It's number 14. So it's just the most beautiful satiny chocolate brown. It's definitely a warm, but it is a more neutral one and done. Like this is the perfect one and done formula. I find like Sisley has really found a beautiful blend of having some light, some satiny finish, but it's not like a chunky glitter. It's not going to look too intense. You can see it has like a satin. It has a bit of lightness to it, and just depending on the reflection of the light, it looks a little bit brown, a little bit gold. So this is a one and done shadow. You just take the color, you apply it, you blend it out. It looks gorgeous. You throw on a bit of liner and mascara, and you are out the door. It is a wonderful shade. I do have, you know, like a silky French blue. That's a beautiful blue color, but I appreciate that not everyone wants to wear blue eyeshadow. So if you want a very simple, very easy, one and done shade, and what's wonderful is that this is standalone. So instead of getting a giant palette where you get overwhelmed and you have no idea what to do, just invest in a single from Sisley because the formula is great. It's very intense, very opaque, also very easy to blend. And I have used this in conjunction with other shadows and it works really nice. But if you want to simplify your mornings, you know, Monday to Friday, something really easy for Zoom or whatever, just get the Sisley single in Sparkling Topaz. Okay, last but not least, this item here, I have to always mention with a grain of salt. This is the Phytoteint Ultra Éclat Foundation. So I wear the shade the shade 2 Plus Sand. This is the bottle here, so you do have to give it a good shake. As you can see, it has like little ribbons of product in here, so you do have to give it a nice shake. This is a fluid foundation. It's long wearing, it's natural. It also has a very soft, radiant finish, but it's honestly one of the most natural finished foundations I've ever tried because it has this like very natural velvet radiant finish. It's not radiant in like a greasy, glowy effect. It's just radiant in like a lit from within, very natural finish where it's just like a beautiful Your Skin but better with a nice level of coverage. The only ick I would say about it is the shade range. The shade range is not inclusive, and also the shade range jumps so much. So this is number 2 Plus Sand. Now, if you look online, if you look at the swatches or, you know, the little dots, you would think, okay, so like number 2 would be a little bit lighter, but every time you change the shade, whether you go up or down, it doesn't just go up or down one shade, it goes down like 2, I want to say, like at least 2 shades. And then it's either way more cool or way more warm than the previous shade. So it's not this like gradual shade expansion. It just like jumps here and then jumps there and then goes there. Like it's confusing. Like if you just look at like the Sisley site, you're going to be lured into a false sense of security. So I would recommend that you get yourself to a Nordstrom's or wherever sells Sisley and try the swatches in person, maybe get some samples. If you do order Sisley online, like if you order the eyeshadow, they're very good at giving samples. So when you're buying online, request foundation samples because that's the best way to test it out. Because like I said, the shade range jumps so much. It's so weird. I don't know why they do that. I haven't really seen it to this extent before. This is like the most infamous one for me. And it's so confusing because I really do enjoy the foundation. I love the finish. It's so natural. You know, it really does give you like medium coverage with like an inner glow, radiant finish. And it's like a soft velvet finish at the same time, but the shade range is like, oof, all over the place. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt. All right, that is it for my video. My top 3 products from 3 top brands. Let me know what you think of this style or format of video. Is it helpful to you? I kind of enjoy it because it kind of forces me to look at what I've been using the most from 3 brands specifically. And what's nice is that this can change. You know, there exist those types of like holy grail makeup videos where it's like the best of the best, but it's kind of a lot of pressure to think of like the absolute best of all time because, you know, sometimes your taste changes a little bit as the year progresses, depending on the season, depending on your mood and like the type of makeup you're into that month of the year. So I like this type of video where it just sort of highlights some favorites and then, you know, just goes on with time. And this is definitely something that I could revisit and, you know, look at later on. So let me know what you think in the comments. If you're new to my channel, I talk about nothing but luxury beauty, and I have a beauty history series, which is where I basically do a documentary on different beauty and fashion brands like Chanel, Dior, Yves Saint Laurent, Hermes, etc. So if you're not subscribed, I highly encourage you to do so and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. So on that note, that is all I have for you guys for today. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye.